Brought a couple of those cards up.
Nice. Hey, welcome to Thursday night.
Yeah, everybody, welcome to Blabbin' About Slabbin' here live on YouTube. And yeah, another Thursday night. Couple topics to talk about tonight. One about getting replacement cards from Topps, and another one about what else are we going to talk about?
Well, I'm going to take a minute and just once we get going, so people join in, I'm just going to take a minute and congratulate Topps.
Yes, they did something good. They did something good.
They did something fantastic, and the idea was great, and the execution was near perfect. So I have absolutely nothing but good things to say. So I want to take a minute to.
Hey, what's up, Shelly the Turtle? We want to talk about some cards we cracked out also.
Yep.
For anybody who may have watched our last couple reveal videos. So, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about what happened in the playoffs. What happened to the Phillies? They're up 3-2, going home. Seem to be primed to close it out.
Look, as a Braves fan who watched a lot of baseball in the 90s and even recently, I'm very familiar what it looks like when a team chokes away a really good chance to advance in the playoffs. I've seen it happen a lot, and that's what that was. It was terrible. It was hard to watch. I mean, I was ready to watch Harper go back to the World Series, and that Diamondbacks team is nowhere near as good as the Phillies team.
No,
but
those two goes to show you got a small sample size in the playoffs. They won 84 games over the regular season, some 20 less than the league's best teams, and doesn't matter.
Yeah. The Phillies their offense went ice cold at the absolute worst.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was watching 7, and he was just like, he didn't see. That, to be fair, he didn't watch any of the Phillies' other games, but he was just wondering why Castellanos is in the lineup. And I'm like, I mean, he hit 4 home runs against the Braves, so I know he can hit. But damn, for those last 6 games of that series,
after game 1,
like he was never going to get a hit again.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah,
it was rough.
Yeah, that's tough.
So what are you thinking on the World Series? What are your predictions? So we've got a young Diamondbacks team, and I guess I would say a young Rangers team. Their veterans aren't exactly the ones leading the way, especially on the pitching side.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I would vote if I had to bet. I would bet on Texas to win.
Yeah. What's up, JV?
I think they have more experience. Evaldi is fantastic.
The Evaldi and Montgomery pickups have been huge.
Yeah, I'm sure Scherzer's going to gut through a Game 3 start. But yeah, if my buddy from New Jersey is watching, who likes to bet against whatever I say, I'm going to tell you right now, I would say Rangers in 5 or 6. I just think it's going to be a little too much for some of these young Arizona guys, and the Rangers do have some veteran bats that, like Seager's not going to get phased. Yeah. Adolis Garcia looks like he's about to run through a brick wall to get a ring. So I like the Rangers' chances.
Yeah, but they got some fun young guys too, like Young and Evan Carter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll be good. It'll be good for baseball, not necessarily for my collecting. I think we talked about this before. We don't really have many cards. I've got an Alec Thomas Bowman first.
Oh, right, you do. Yeah, I have nothing. I don't have a single card. I have maybe a couple base cards that I pulled out of like Stadium Club Chrome we've opened, but that's it. It's kind of funny. Yeah, my very disappointed.
MGR.
All right, so
Arizona.
MJR sports cards. Yeah, I'd bet the farm on Arizona. It's a very simple premise that what I think is going to happen, it almost never happens. And the more confident I am, the less likely that it is to happen.
All right, so Diamondback sweep coming up.
Yeah. Oh, and Evaldi gives up 10 runs in game 1. Like, I mean, just write it all down.
But all right, well let's throw some flowers to Topps where they're due. So why don't you take care of that right off the bat? We've given Topps and Fanatics a hard time about a lot of things, but they especially with the announcement today, where we know a little bit more definitively what this item and product is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I complain about Fanatics and about Topps a lot. Like some of the decisions they make are terrible. Some of their execution is like embarrassingly poor. But the MLB Rookie Debut Patch, that was a great idea. Um, Fantastic idea. It's actually worn. It was on the jersey when these players made their major league debut, which is fantastic. It sets it apart from all these other game used but non-specific event or season relics that we see out there. This is a real thing. It's awesome. It's probably the best MLB patch cards we're going to see. This is the closest we're going to get to like the football has those rookie patch autos, and I think the NBA does too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. So my biggest fear, well, I had two fears coming in. One, that they were going to be put in some second tier junk product, like I don't know, like definitive or like triple threats or some triple threads, something like that. Or God help us all, that they would put a sticker auto on these cards. But we got good news on both fronts. One, they're going to be in Topps Chrome Update, which is where they belong, which is a widely released product that everyone's going to have a chance to buy, which is great. And secondly, we saw some of the actual cards on IG today. They're on card autos and they look fantastic. So I just kudos to Topps on this one. I got nothing but to say. This is a fantastic card. I think there's 10 or 11 of them in Chrome Update.
I was wondering how many. Is that the count?
I think that's what I saw. It's either 10 or 11. So good luck to everyone out there. I can't wait to see some of these images come up online. I do hope they don't all show up on Breakers pages, but I'm looking forward to like a random Facebook post from a guy who bought like one retail box of Topps Chrome Update, and there it was.
It almost makes me want to open some of this just for the lottery ticket appeal of it. I think it's a great.
The next time I'm in North Carolina, if I find a box, I'll definitely give it a shot with my dad. Or if we go into Lids and they have a hobby box, well, I'll rip one open with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, MJR sports cards. I mean, they look great. Autos are bold. They're all on card. Patches look. Seen all of them. I'm hoping at least a couple patches might have some dirt. Maybe a grass stain if we're super lucky.
A little pine tar because they're on the shoulder. You know that. Yeah. It was funny when we first saw them back in the spring. It was funny because they are pretty small. So you've got, I don't have any patches on this. I don't know if you do, but usually the patches on the shoulder are pretty big. This one is exceptionally small, but it's perfect because it can fit on the card, can fit on a card.
And I'm really glad it's one card. I'm glad they didn't chop the patch up and try to make cards or something. It's one patch. It looks awesome, looks badass. Great idea.
MGR, no idea what they're going to go for. Really, no idea.
I don't know what the checklist is. I'm not sure who has one and who doesn't. One of the mock-ups I saw was Volpe, so I mean, I'm sure that's going to go for at least $1,000, 1,500, maybe more, probably more,
even more. Yeah, especially since this is the first time out.
I mean, if there is a Corbin Carroll, but I don't see how there could be because his debut was the year before, right?
Right, like Harris too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, like Harris too. But I don't know, the two Orioles guys might. If Henderson and Rushman have one, I think that could be a 5K card.
Well, Rushman was up last year too, so he's not going to have it.
Maybe Henderson then.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Henderson. What's up, Andrew in Slugger City? Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your Thursday night to join us. If you're here, please hit that subscribe button. There's a notification bell which you can hit, and it notifies you every time we go live, which usually it'll be Thursdays, but in case you tuned in last weekend when you saw us opening our PSA, a PSA sub, occasionally we go at different times. So JV, it's RPA equivalent of a Bowman First Super. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And the different things, like Chris was talking about in basketball and football, they've got the RPAs, and it's a huge part of the hobby. But those aren't necessarily worn on their rookie debut. It's not in their first game, etc. So this is pretty special because it's worn from their first game in the big leagues, and it's just one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, as someone who collects basketball certainly more than I do, are any of those RPAs in basketball, are they all actually game worn?
Well, that's changed too. Panini has been using different verbiage over the last 10 years. So I am pretty much out of basketball after 2014. So maybe somebody who's in the chat is basketball, but I don't believe now they are necessarily game worn.
Okay.
The verbiage on there.
I looked it up online. I'm going to have to quick retraction here. The MLB Rookie Debut Patch autograph checklist is 91 cards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A lot of players. I mean, I guess a lot of people made their debut.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that people aren't crazy about. Like, I don't know who Brayan Rocchio is. I don't know. You might know who Blake Perkins is.
Yes, I do.
Some of these guys I've absolutely never heard of, but Brandon Pfaadt has one.
Oh, hey, that'll be a hot one.
So that one should be hot. Bobby Miller of the Dodgers has one. Volpe. I'm just trying to look through real quick here. Some other names that would jump. Oh, Dylan Dodd for the Braves.
Yeah, there might be some of players who never get another card made.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, Edward Julian from the Twins, Yuri Perez, Grayson Rodriguez, Gavin Stone.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones.
Those are some decent names. Ooh, JP France. Probably the guy Dusty Baker inexplicably used in Game 7. I mean, that's a whole conversation we can have some other time. But man, how do you leave that guy in there to give up 4 runs in a winner-go-home game? That's tough. Coach has one. Logan Allen. Matt McClain might be the best hitter to have one.
Oh yeah, he was a surprise.
Yeah. Masataka Yoshida.
All right, that's another one that'll probably fetch a lot of dollars.
Oh yeah. There's going to be 2 continents looking for that one.
MJR says Rocchio is solid, a Guardians guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you're right. I think Gunnar Henderson must have made his debut last fall too. He does not have one. So I'm not sure who the most. What's the biggest name in here?
Volpe, probably.
Cool. 91 of these is pretty great.
Shelly the Turtle says NBA Prism RPA or NBA Panini RPAs aren't even guaranteed to be worn by the player. So there you go.
So, I'm sorry. I Jordan Walker is in here too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I missed him the first time through. But yeah, this is really cool. 91 cards. I don't know why I was thinking it was 10. So that's my bad. But this is a
thought maybe that they were going to separate them out into other products when you said there was only 10, because I knew there were more guys than that debuted.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also going through the Topps Chrome update checklist, and there's a triple auto of Austin Riley, Acuna, and Ozzie Albies. Oh boy. There's also a Maddox Glavine Smoltz triple auto. Oh, and a Grayson Gunnar Adley triple auto. I don't want to get too excited because I feel like the other autos are all going to be stickers at a Chrome update.
Yeah, especially if it's 3 on a card.
It'd be pretty badass if they weren't, though. That would be an awesome card.
Smith Sharver, does he have an auto patch?
Patch.
Whatever happened to O'Neal Cruz? He's been hurt, Jorge. So I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully he's healthy for next year.
And he would be last year too. I'm not seeing for Smith Sharver, which is too bad.
Yeah, Ben, I think the triples will be stickers, sadly. Maybe they'll surprise us pleasantly and not be stickers, but...
Yeah, no, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm so pleasantly surprised and excited at how these rookie debut patch cards look. I'm going to give Topps the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe these triple autos won't be stickers.
Very good. Very good.
I mean, that's a sticker. I'm gonna try to find one. I'm gonna try to get one. They're numbered to 12 or 10 or less. I mean,
like they couldn't quite get 10 for everybody.
Come on, you could get these into these guys.
Yeah. Man. What's up, Lucky Peter?
But man, a Maddox Glavine Smoltz triple auto out of Topps Chrome with their on card.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They might sell a lot more product but you'd think that they would promote the hell out of that if that were really on card autos. But again.
I mean, yeah, see, what gets my excitement up is that the Legends autos in regular Topps Chrome, those were all on card, and those look great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see those. And I'm hoping if those prices come down a little bit, I'm going to try to grab a Maddox because the image on him is great.
All right. So now that we've given Topps a lot of credit, I do want to talk a little bit about something maybe they're not great at. I ran a poll on my Instagram. Thanks to all of you who voted for it. It was, or let me know what happened to your experience. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't notice because I got blindsided by the 2 Braves triple autos, but I just wanted to mention a couple of the other ones on this checklist. There is also a Wade Boggs, Rafael Devers, Nomar Garciaparra Red Sox triple auto card. That sounds really cool. And a Nolan Ryan, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson triple auto.
Ooh.
Man, please don't use stickers for these. Come on, Topps. I'll take a redemption, an 18-month redemption before a sticker on these. Anyway, I'm sorry.
They're going to be stickers. Let's assume they're going to be stickers, and maybe we can be pleasantly surprised if they're not.
Fair enough. All right.
Bashing. Yeah. All right. So the question on IG was, how many of you have sent a card as for a replacement to Topps for condition? Like you pulled it out of a pack, it had a dinged corner, it was cut in half, whatever it is. Did you send it back? And I got a lot of responses. It was about a quarter of the people that voted in the poll have done this. Now, I personally haven't done it. Actually, I take that back. I did get a blaster one time, and every card in the blaster was bent. I think because something in the production process bent the packs. So I sent it in, and they sent me the equivalent of a new blaster. Not even a new blaster, just the cards, like in a stack. And there was nothing.
That's kind of funny.
But a lot of people have had stories about pulling good cards. You pull an auto, a hot auto of somebody, or a numbered card, and it comes out not great. Well, I think their guarantee, if you want to call it that, is that every card is an 8 or above that you pull out of a pack. And if it's not, they're willing to give a replacement. If they have the identical card, they'll give it. But if they don't, they give you something that's equivalent in value. So what brought this to mind, I saw a post about a week ago on Twitter, or X, I guess as it's called, by Keith, who's Shady Pin Chaser 3. And I don't know if anybody else saw this, but he pulled a Julio Rodriguez Platinum Anniversary out of 10, which is a black parallel. It's a beautiful card. So it's J-Rod, rookie, beautiful card. He posted on here, there were a couple comps selling for $650 to $950. Okay. But it was scratched up. So he sent it back. And in return, he got an orange Ozzie Smith auto. Its value is about $40. And on the return sheet, it specifically said, here's a card of equivalent market value. And it's way off. I mean, by an order of magnitude off.
Yes. So
there were a lot of mixed responses on his Twitter. Well, that's what you get for sending it in. You can't expect every card to be mint. A lot of people badgering Topps for making that equivalency. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on getting a damaged card and sending it in? And would you do it?
So I have done it once. If you recall, it had to be back in 2020. I bought a Bo Bichette, that Players Weekend SP. He's kind of like seductively looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm drawn to that card, but that's a conversation we can have some other time. But I bought it from the seller on eBay, and like he had a bunch of pictures and it looked great. And then he sent it to me, and it came with like a corner that was like just completely bent, like a mangled corner. And so I messaged him about it, and he never responded. And I looked at his page, and I realized he actually sold the same card 3 times. And each listing used the exact same photos. So I tried to return the card, and he denied my return. And eBay, for reasons I'm still not entirely sure of, sided with him.
Yeah, that's great.
I ended up going back and forth with eBay, and they're like, yes, we realized that he used the same photos on multiple listings. Unfortunately, the return has been closed. And I'm like, what? So I had this card that was a mess. So I went out and bought a retail box of Topps, took the wrappers and the proof of purchase, and sent the Bichette with all that stuff back to Topps. And what I got back, I thought was actually was pretty fair. They sent me an update Bichette image variation because he had an SP and an SSP in both Series 1 and update. So they sent me that, but they acknowledged that wasn't worth as much. So then they sent me like what was it? I want to say it was like a base Chris Bryant card, which was a very funny inclusion. They were like, whatever it's off, here's a Chris Bryant. Yeah, maybe they thought it was off by 7 cents. I don't know. So at least I did get something back, and it was the same player and even the same type of card, but just in a different series. So I appreciated the effort. I mean, I would have preferred the same card, but they tried. And what I got back was certainly worth more than the damaged piece of junk that I got.
Right.
So I was pretty happy with how mine went.
Yeah, and I had a few responses that some people have done it multiple times. Marky Michaels did it twice. I said 19 update Vladdy SPs and the rainbow foil. Another time he had a Gavin Lux Topps Chrome Refractor auto, which was damaged, and they sent a clearly authentic green auto instead. So he was a little bit bummed. But so this first two, he got the exact same card, which is
nice.
Is cool. But it seems like a lot of people don't, and especially the rarer the card is, the harder it is to get something. It's harder the harder to get that card. I don't know how hard it is for Topps to go on eBay and see what the market value is. So in this case of the J Rod, it was out of 10, so it's reasonable to think that he would not get.
You're not getting for sure. No way. But yeah, that's terrible to be off by that much. I will also say we know our buddy Ethos Pitch had that Heritage Black Chrome refractor Bobby Wick that had that. It almost was like the whatever material makes the chrome, they dripped extra on the surface of the card, and it was like all bumpy and weird.
Yes.
So he sent that one in, and they sent him back the exact same card. I mean, I'm sorry, a different copy of the same card, not the exact same card, but they sent him a different copy of the Heritage Black Refractor, which he sent to PSA, and it gemmed. So that was like
that's a perfect scenario.
Case scenario. But I would say if you've got something numbered even under 100, you probably just have to live with it. It seems unlikely that Topps would have extra copies of these super rare things laying around.
And there's no don't, and you're really taking a chance with their valuations.
That guy has a legitimate beef, though. I hope he's able to get something else back from Topps. Like, that's terrible.
What's interesting, somebody commented on there, and I don't know about this since I haven't done it, but they said don't go through the standard form of just sending it back and waiting. Instead, contact them by email, and even if it takes a while for them to get back to you, they will, and then you can ensure of maybe what specific cards you might get as a replacement.
Oh, interesting.
Work for that person. So maybe that's better. Gabagoat said, I just sent in a 22 Platinum Anniversary Orange 25 Frank Thomas auto. Okay, because that's like the Ozzie Smith that this guy got back, because the auto is completely smudged and surface scratched out of the pack, the whole auto. What do you think I'll get? Well, you might get an Ozzie Smith autograph.
I would say you're getting an Ozzie Smith auto, because I feel like they probably have a nice big stack of those.
They might have extras of that.
So you said it almost sounds like the description you were making of the other way to return the card. It almost sounds like when your redemption isn't getting fulfilled, because sometimes they will offer you, if you say like, give me a substitution, they will offer you a card, which you don't have to accept. That work out well for some people and not for others.
I think lovely. Yeah. Well, good luck. Keep us posted. Let us know what you get back, please.
Yeah.
No. And I don't know about that, because I think once you request, if you go through their website, once you request a substitution for your redemption, you just get whatever you get.
Oh.
So in fact, I requested, I had Andrew Benintendi, I think a 5-star rookie auto maybe, and it was the redemption they had there for like 4 years. So finally, or 3 years, then last year sometime I said, give me a replacement, and they still haven't. So it's still out for a replacement. But
oh wow.
If you email them specifically and ask about that, then I don't know, because typically you take what you get, which is another reason that people are like, well, I'd rather just wait it out to see if this guy ever signs.
Get it with Benintendi, though. You may as well just roll the dice,
right?
Because I mean, we're talking about a $10 card. No offense.
Exactly. Thanks, Gabagoat. Yeah, I'm glad you found us. Please like and subscribe and tune in. Oh, what are you showing?
Cards out of the pack are supposed to be a PSA 8. What would we say this Corbin Carroll Heritage Black Refractor would be? Like, that is horrific.
PSA, even if everything else was perfect, is not giving higher than a 7 on that centering.
There's no way. That's like 90-10.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
7 on center alone.
So I see it's been up on eBay with a buy it now. It recently ended on bids, and I was considering buying it and just sending it right back to Topps. And it ended up going for $130, and it makes me wonder.
That's not bad, because even
that might have been worth the risk.
Nice.
That might have been worth the risk.
Yeah.
To send it to Topps, because they'd have to give you something
right
else. And I feel like a black refractor, they probably have extras of those. I doubt they put all 76 or whatever it is, 74.
right? Or no, it's 74. Um, PS, oh, we'll get to Riley too. Uh, all right. If anyone else has had any experience on here, please chime in. It seemed like from the responses I got on Instagram, more people were unhappy with their replacements than were happy with them. So that's not really surprising. I don't know if maybe their valuations will get better now with Fanatics. Centering is worse than a 7. It's bad, yeah.
That one's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's just weird because I've seen other of those Corbin Carrolls that are centered well.
Yeah. So it's not
odd that they just messed up a whole sheet. I don't know.
They would give it. I don't think they would give it a 5. I think they would give it at least, if everything else was perfect, I think they would still give it a 6.
Yeah, I would say a 6 is about. All right. So you said other people gave you examples? Can you give us some other examples of?
Yeah, let me find out.
Some transactions.
Okay. If Grady, who might be watching, I think Grady was talking. He had a box that had damaged autos and duplicate autos, and I guess he talked with them because he said they were going to give him $30 in packs for $100 in damages.
Okay.
Yeah, not ideal, but what are you going to do?
I didn't realize duplicate autos were a thing because our buddy Eric, if you recall, when we were opening Stadium Club boxes back in 2021 maybe, and both of his autos were Travis Demerit.
I don't know if it's Demerite. Yeah.
Well,
I know. Oh yeah, so if I didn't realize that either. If you had duplicate autos, you could get a swap.
Get another pack of Stadium Club. I mean,
let's see. KSJMC NAB KSJ McNabb maybe.
Okay.
So he said it wasn't too bad. He got the same card back both times.
Braves. Okay. Yeah, Braves legends.
It was better than the original shape of the card he had. So it sounded like they weren't even mint, but he got two of the same card back.
Okay.
My own heart, all my cards suck. Sent in a Keston Hira pinstripe SP, which is a card I really like, and at the time was worth something. And he got a replacement and a pack or two of update in there, so he got the throw in like you got the Chris Bryant. So
okay.
Let's see what else.
Also, kind of funny while you're looking it up, how time can change, right? Like I bet, like maybe when he sent that Keston Hira in, it was valued at like $100, but I bet, but Topps got to it, it was probably down to like $15. So the timing can be everything in these.
Yes, depends how long it takes to get them back. Yeah. LJB42 said the first time I got the exact same card in return, but in good condition, a win. Second, got a pile of junk.
No.
Loss. So it seems like you're hit or miss, and the rarer the card is, the more likely you are to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a rookie auto out of 10, you probably just have to stomach whatever the condition is.
Well, and this wasn't an auto, to be fair. This was but it was a black parallel out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody at Topps thought, hey, we'll give him an auto of a Hall of Famer.
Now, to be fair, I bet 2 years from now that the values of those two cards will be a lot closer.
Maybe.
They won't be even, but they will be a lot closer.
Yeah, they'll be closer than they are now.
Yeah.
Maybe not 15 times as much.
Yeah, maybe down to like 7 times.
Yeah.
So hopefully Topps can make it right for that guy or girl.
I don't know what you do. I'm interested. I'm just going to follow along. I don't know if there's anybody he can make an appeal to, or I don't know what the process is.
I don't either. Thankfully, we don't know. I'm sure at some point we will, but so far we don't.
Do you know if Ephus pitched when he made that exchange, if he had spoken to them like about the card he could get, or did he just blindly send it off with the? As
far as I know, he just did the basic exchange, like the regular form. As far as I know.
Yeah. Well, I guess it also depends if a card's in a certain shape, then that it's not worth having, like you had with your Bichette, really.
Yeah, then you can roll the dice.
And you just take.
Gotta be bad. Like if I had this really off-center Corbin Carroll, like you can't even look at it without your skin crawling. It's so upsetting. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, speaking of, somebody brought up the Riley, which is a nice segue. If you want to, could you give people a quick recap in case they didn't catch us last weekend?
Yeah, if you did, Jeff and I did an unexpected Saturday. Was it Saturday? It was Saturday.
Yeah.
A blind PSA reveal, a package we thought would be coming in the mail early this week, and it got there really fast. And our willpower only extends so long. We can avoid looking at it online, but once the box is in Jeff's hands, it's just a matter of this box he can open. The unopened stuff behind him, somehow you're able to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I sent this Austin Riley update SSP, the shot of him with the mascot where they're stretching their hamstrings. And Jeff and I went over it, and it looked near perfect. The top edge had like one minor touch, which for an update, a 2019 update SSP is a huge win. Yep. If you're familiar with Guerrero at all, it's terrible. So we did a slow reveal of this card, and I'm going across and I was expecting a 10. I'll be completely honest. And it was not a 10 or a 9 or an 8 or a 7 or a 6. Say 5.
That's
so
right.
We were flabbergasted because we both look over cards very, very closely. And I know Jeff looks over mine especially harshly because I tend to look at them with rose-colored glasses or beer goggles or bourbon goggles, whatever you want to call it. And we didn't see anything possibly making it a 5.
No, it looked great. The 5 was so absurd. Like if you watch our video, you'll see our reaction to it because it was just very expected. And we've had situations like that before. When one time we had a Miguel Cabrera X-Fractor that we thought was going to get a 10 and it had a 6. So that was surprising. We sent it and it got a 10.
Yeah, so this Austin Riley, we cracked it out today.
Yeah.
And at first glance, it looks perfect, as we had said. There, Jess got it. But upon a really, really close inspection, there's a slight warping. It's not crease. We looked at it, under our there's no line, there's no crease mark or anything.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell, but there's just a very slight, you can kind of tell right there, a slight warping. So light hits it, you can see the card is sort of, I don't want to use the word bent because like we said, there's no crease line, but there is an angle there.
But very, very slight.
Very slight. And that's a hell of a beating to go from a 10 to a 5. I figured there had to be a crease that we missed, but I don't see a crease line anywhere.
No, there's nothing visible. We're going to take a look at it again closely under the light, but
Jeff has a plan.
Considering how badly some of the chrome cards are warped when and even Chris, you've had an experience with a Harper that kind of had a little bit of a bend to it.
Yeah, we just you have a tool. That sounds bad, but yeah, you just compressed it, right?
Yeah, I think this one would do well. Kurt's Card Care. Kurt has this method on there where he's got 2 hard pieces of plastic and just holds it together to try to get any sort of warp out. Which, I mean, this is so minute. I don't know how, but in a slab it was 10. That's what we thought.
Exactly. Yeah, JV, I didn't see the rest of his name, commented that in a slab it would look like a 10. Absolutely. You would never notice this. And it took us a little while to notice it outside the slab. I was convinced that Jeff sent in a card years ago. It was a Mike Trout Finest that we were expecting a gem on, and it came back a 5 or a 6. And we looked in the slab, we couldn't see it. We cracked it open. And what we eventually noticed was a little bit of separation.
Yeah.
Top edge and the bottom. There was almost a little space on one of the edges. The card was pulling apart.
Yeah.
And it was near impossible to see with the naked eye, but underneath your light, we could see it. So I was expecting something like that.
And it was completely impossible to see in the slab. And even when we got it, impossible to see. The layers of the card, the front, the top layer, and bottom layer, it started to separate a little bit. So it's nice to see something when it makes sense. I don't know the 5. Even seeing what we saw on this, the 5 doesn't make sense. But maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
We'll give it a few days because the surface is perfect. I was thinking maybe there's a fingernail indent that we didn't see, but so we'll put it. Yeah, we'll put it in that plastic thing. Eric, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you could see, if you're familiar with this year, a lot of the damage comes on colored corners, and in this case, it's this one down here.
Yeah, it looks fine,
but it does not show anything. Yeah. So there's that one. Yeah. The only thing on there is the bend. Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and it's like a warp almost more than a bend. I don't know. So we'll
Yeah,
try the thing and we'll see what happens.
yeah, and it's not like if I remember, even the Harper Chrome that you had was kind of more of like a almost like a diamond bend.
Yes,
So it was like you'd try to set it flat, and the diagonal corners would be up.
exactly. Yeah, which I think pretty much any Chrome card, if you left a stack of Chrome cards out for like a week, that whole stack is going to start to curl in exactly that way.
Yeah.
And that's what that one did. And PSA had no problem with it. So we'll see.
For anybody who watched, I also had one surprise, and it was the Greater Hates mascots and our sizable butts. Yeah, maybe there's some. Uh,
Or maybe PSA just wanted $15 more out of me. I don't know.
that could be. They figured that we can't give them all good grades. We need to have them return some. So this was my surprise disappointment. This is a Ronald Acuna Jr. pro debut SSP, and I was expecting a gem. Again, these colored corners are where the damage usually is, and
Oh
even
yeah.
plastic. Hopefully, you can see how clean they are. Uh, and this it came back an 8. So I mean I wouldn't have been surprised if it had got 9. I mean I still would have been surprised, but a 9 I would have said all right, well, yeah,
Yeah.
the 8 it was worth it to do again.
So did you see anything on the front? Any surface issues? A deep fingerprint? Anything?
No, nothing. And I haven't looked at it
Weird.
closely under my light yet, but it is a really beautiful surface.
All
There's
right. Yeah.
there are no dings to it at all. So I feel like it's definitely worth it for a regrade for me for that one.
Sure.
Uh, MGR, what does Kurt's charge? Well, Kurt's card care, he won't do anything for your cards. He just has a lot of videos about ways that he treats cards or takes care. He especially specializes in vintage where there are visible wrinkles or creases that he's able to get out. Chris and I aren't much into vintage, so I don't know too much about that, but definitely check out his channel. And then he has links to all the stuff that he uses, like the plastic things that.
Hey, he has like a kit that I think you bought, right?
Oh yeah, he has a kit which comes with like a little card spray which helps get basically anything off. Whack if there's wax on there, or some of the cards they come with some like almost like an extra stain of the coating that usually gets it off. It also comes with a little wax kit you can use for chrome cards. But I was gonna say you just make sure you watch his tutorial videos because you've got to be very careful. Yeah, he's really good with corners. I don't I don't know much about that. I haven't experimented with that enough, but he's really good with corners. He's got even what comes in the kit is called a corner tool, where he's able to like press down the corner. Um, but
Oh.
it's really dangerous to me, so I'm
Yeah.
not brave enough to tackle stuff like that. But if you
Like anxiety just thinking about it. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Jeff, I'm not allowed to touch the cards. I have a condition known as very sweaty hands. So I don't touch. I
it's
really don't.
a self-imposed rule, though,
It's,
Chris.
well, it was self-imposed, but immediately seconded by you. There was no, oh, come on, Chris, it's okay. You can, you're like, good idea. You stay over there. Get a towel. Get out of here. I will say though, you should warn everyone that spray. It's not all good news. That spray did.
Well, yeah. One thing with the spray and the wax, really, they're for chromium cards. So be very careful if you use them on paper cards. I experimented a few times with paper cards, and it did not go well. So
Yeah.
um, definitely watch his tutorial videos. He's got a whole list of them. It's links to his YouTube channel if you're interested in any sort of checking out your cards or trying to improve them. There's a lot of techniques that I know people frown on, like cutting cards or like trimming cards. So he doesn't do any of that. Also, with older cards, there's a way of like sort of flattening the corners so that you can add more, like kind of add more material to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but he stays away from that kind of stuff. So most of the stuff that he does is just the cleaning, and like I said, with he works with creases and wrinkles in older cards, and it really does make them look good. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of preference. Believe that that's altering a card or preserving a card.
Interesting. I saw a Tomahawk Cards posted that he had a recent sub of Corbin Carroll cards and 5 gemmed, and one came back as 6.
Oh,
That's frustrating as hell because I'm sure to your eye they all look the same. And I do wonder sometimes in larger orders if PSA will just throw one low grade in there just to sort of like keep you on your toes, knowing you're probably going to send it back anyway.
funny, we've been hearing that anecdotally from a lot of people. They're like, "Yep, I had a good order. I did get my 6," and it's not just usually a random 8 or 7 that should gem. It is a 5 or 6, so it's pretty low.
So here's what's funny. I see Shelly's asking me a question. I'll get to it in a second. So I looked up. I was thinking about the Austin Riley card because it was a 5, and I bought it raw. And the seller told me it looked great, and I got a bunch of pictures, and it all looked good. And then to us, it looked good. It came back a 5. When I looked it up on the pop report, there's another 5 on there. So I was wondering if that seller had graded it. It got a 5. He didn't think it should have. Cracked it out, sold it to me raw. Me, the idiot, was like, "Hey, this looks great. I'm going to send it in." And now there's 2 5s on the pop report, and they're the same card, and they've both been cracked out. So it's not impossible.
That's really interesting. Well, I guess could the third time be the charm if you send it back and get another 5? Eric, last order 38 cards, 37 9s and 10s, 1 PSA 5. There it goes.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I read that as 37 9s at first, and I was like, "Oh my god, Eric!" Like, I am so sorry. All right, but yeah. So there you go. Now, Eric, does the one that got the low grade look any different to you? Was that one you were worried about? Because the card Jeff and I were worried about in our sub came back an 8, so we were pretty happy with that one. All right, what was Shelly's question? He had an Acuna question.
Oh, speaking of Acuñas, if you don't mind me asking, Chris, what did you pay for the Acuna SSSP, the 2022 World Series, which I believe that was in our last sub?
Yes, yeah, that one I was really excited about. Came back a 10. I have it sitting right here. I actually bought that from a gentleman on Instagram.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
MGR says graders don't do that. Usually they just see something that was overlooked when submitted. I used to think that, but after seeing it happen so many times.
Yeah.
No.
Now, to be fair, Jeff and I have also gotten slammed appropriately on stuff that missed. And we've cracked out a card and been like, "Oh my God, we missed it." Like, that's on us. Like, PSA was right. So I don't mean to be bashing PSA here. Like, I think 90% of the time they're dead on right with what their grade is. But sometimes they're human, and sometimes weird stuff happens.
Yeah, and like the example I gave before when we sent the Miguel Cabrera, which was absolutely perfect. And it was an older card, but absolutely perfect. And sent it in and got a 6. There was just no rational explanation for it. None at all.
It was an older X-Fractor, so the background was weird. So it's very possible the grader literally just thought that some of the design were scratches.
Yeah, like a new grader didn't understand the design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got
it. So I absolutely do think it happens. Whether or not it's intentional or they're just having a bad day with that, I don't know. But it does seem it happens more often than not on a big order that you get all grades that are consistently what you think they should be, and then 1 or 2 outliers.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff and I will look at 20 to 40 cards before we do a sub, and we can very easily miss something on a card. So these poor guys are looking at 400 cards a day. They're probably going to miss stuff from time to time. Anyway, Show the Turtle's asking about this bad boy.
Yeah.
This Ultra SP. And I got this on Instagram for $350. I know there's one sitting on eBay, a raw one, for like $520. It's been on there for a very, very long time. I believe that's a pop 7, and I think Eric is actually the one that told us on Saturday. I think there's 17 or 18 total at PSA. So I mean, those Ultra SPs are really, really, really rare. So if you like it, I would try to get that one off of eBay. If you can get it for 500 or less, it's probably a pretty good deal. Like those are more or less dried up. I haven't seen a Freddie Freeman come up for sale in a very long time.
Yeah, they're not going to show up much.
No.
Jorge made a comment, they make the grade low enough to annoy you and you'll resubmit it. Yeah, I think there's something to that. They, especially now when they admit that they have the capability and they do photograph every card and keep a record of it, it's part of their company. It's part of their bottom line. So I feel like they do need to make sure that they get resubs.
I will also say, Eric, congratulations, man. That's a pretty great ratio of of 9s and 10s. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, MJR Sport Card. I would like to think that they aren't just randomly throwing a 5 and a 6 into subs just to sort of aggravate people and see what they do. I don't really think that's happening. It's funny to joke about, but it's pretty unlikely, I would think. But it's hard to explain sometimes what some of these, when you randomly get a 6 on a card that you crack out and resub and it gets a 10. Like that's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Not possible, but
a couple of people looked at it and all saw it was perfect. One person looks at it and sees a 6. Then again, more people look at it and see a 10. So yeah.
I will say also possible that grader downgraded the card because the photo is not of Miguel Cabrera. So maybe that they were very new and they thought that type of error can't grade a 10. I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas. I don't know.
It could be, but I think just like the urban legend of having pop control at PSA, like they're not going to give Griffey's 8-9 upper deck. They're not going to hand out 10s. They're not going to hand out 10s on Ricky Henderson, even though we saw that wasn't that guy just submitting like 200 box fresh Ricky Hendersons.
Yes.
What happens on that?
Yeah, those haven't come back. I think that was on Instagram. That was the Jason at Heritage account.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen those grades pop yet. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, we were watching that pretty closely.
Right, which will completely shift the entire Henderson card market depending on what happens. So is there's the urban legend of pop control. I also feel like there is the legend of individual submission control.
Absolutely, but man, that.
If somebody submits 40 cards and they all get 10s, I have a feeling when it goes to the guy who's checking whatever the next quality control, they're going to say, no, these can't all be 10s. No, we're not going to have it.
Yeah, that Henderson sub is going to be real interesting. That could be like a $20,000 sub.
Yeah.
If a few of those gem. So yeah, I just want to briefly talk about that sub that we had. This was a weird thing that happened. So I had this 2014 Freddie Freeman clear. You can see that, yeah. We subbed it. The clear option was not available. Like when we were looking up the card. So we had to put in the notes. I think you put in the notes clear. And then when they sent us back like that initial list of what they are, and you confirm everything, it was right. When they printed out the slab, though, they added update for whatever reason. You can see that. So
on the pop report, there's no 2014 Topps update Freddie Freeman clear, right?
Well, there's no Topps Freddie Freeman clear,
there's no
but
Freeman.
Freddie Freeman clear in update. It's the only card in update with like a Series 2 number.
Yeah.
So that's annoying.
So they do make other mistakes. We've had a handful of those kind of mistakes made as well. But what are you going to do?
That's just a weird one. I don't know who decided to add the word update.
Yeah, when there's no clears in update.
Yeah. There's no Freddie Freeman in update for sure.
So while we were cracking, we cracked out another card, which if you watched our previous graded card crossover, what is graded card review, GCR. Yeah. So we sent in 5 cards that were slabbed in Beckett and SGC slabs to PSA, and 3 of the 5 crossed over. One of the 5 that did not was this Mookie Betts card.
Yeah, look at that thing. That card is so nice. It was like a Pure Gem plus, I guess you would say. Yeah, Eric, you're right. They will reslab for free. They just have to go in the mail again, which is always a little bit stressful.
Yeah, it's just the pain of getting it.
Yeah, I think I have 3 other mistakes that need to get corrected. I think Jeff might have one, so we'll wait and see if another one shows up, and then we'll send them all off eventually.
Together. Yeah, so this had a 9-5, 9-5, and 2 10s, and it didn't cross over, which was surprising to us.
Yeah, we had actually, of the 5 cards, we made a ranking of the most likely to cross, and we thought that was number 1, and it didn't. It didn't cross.
It didn't cross at all. But it looked so good, so we decided to crack it out and send it in, just to partly to go with the uniformity of our PSA cards. Mostly we're collecting, especially second-year cards and third-year cards of Hall of Fame players.
Yeah, golds and blacks.
Golds and blacks in PSA. So we have high hopes that it'll get a 10, but if it gets that Riley grader, who knows?
Yeah, it is also. I wanted to also point out, someone asked us, it was either in the reveal we did Saturday or the one before then, the PSA slabs have indeed changed, and they're definitely thicker and more like, I don't know, hardcore. Like poor Jeff. I mean, Jeff's dealing with a little bit of gym-induced tennis elbow right now. And the poor guy was almost, his eyes were getting watery while he was cracking these 2 cards out
Yeah,
today.
I wish I had the slabs here. Remind me next week, and I'll bring them because you can immediately tell they're the because when you crack a slab, you can most people crack the corner and then you can pry it apart with a screwdriver and it pops off. Well, the new slab would not crack, so I had
Yeah.
to actually cut a triangle out of the plastic, and it didn't splinter or crack like most of them do before I could pry it out. And yeah, it was very
Yeah, it was thick. It was almost like it was bending as you were trying to, it wouldn't crack. Like it was a battle.
yeah. So I don't know if they're using a different polymer in the plastic, but it's substantially different. But not all of them are because the Riley, which was in the same one,
See, it's like they knew.
yeah,
They knew that was going to get cracked, so they used the original slab formula.
from crack
Like,
it. Yeah, but the Acuna was so they're definitely
yeah.
using plastic. I don't know if it's just half the cards now or any card that grades above a 5 is getting the new plastic. I don't know. We'll have to see. Eric, did you notice any difference in your sub? There is the weight is just a slight difference. You can feel a
Yeah.
slight when you hold them, not much, but you definitely notice when you crack it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just the thickness is not quite the same. I don't really have to right here. There are a ton of things that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Jorge was just saying, yeah, some of the cards do rattle. Some of the cards that I have in PSA slabs, like, really rattle, and that freaks me out. And other ones, it seems like it's tighter. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little inconsistency in card shape and size. But yeah, when the cards rattle like that, it worries me.
Yes, there definitely is a variance in size, but it is kind of concerning that they don't they don't have any sort of differentiator to gauge that. So if a card is slightly shorter from the factory, you think that they might have a slightly smaller case that they could put it in, but everything gets the same case. So MGR, I mentioned that as well. The slabs are way nicer now. Yeah, even
Agreed.
they seem to be clearer. I don't know. I gotta look at them again, but they seem to be clear when you're cracking it, and they're definitely a tougher material.
Eric commented and said that his were definitely upgraded as well.
Yeah.
Eric, even the one low grade, or is the one low grade?
What about the stick? Was it the old thin kind?
I do wonder. Who knows what they're. I wanted to see if other people had seen it. I don't know how many of our viewers have Costco memberships, but I was at Costco today. I sent Jeff a picture. They're offering these like flagship boxes.
Yeah.
That have packs from Series 1, Series 2, and Update, and some silver packs were in there. And then there's one like oversized jumbo pack that has one, I guess, big card. And I will say the jumbo Acuna card from the Costco box, that's one of my favorite Acuna images from 2023. I'm kind of bummed that they threw it in this random Costco box.
So now, is that officially is it a Costco exclusive SP?
I don't know if I don't know if it's a Costco exclusive. I'm assuming it's only available in those boxes, so I'm gonna say yes, but I don't hold me to it.
What about the silver?
Those were the regular like hobby jumbo hobby box silver packs that were in there, and my Costco in California here was $33.99 for the whole package.
So did you consider buying one or more?
Not really. Not really. We're trying to save some money, and I know there's not going to be anything good in any of that. Most likely, although who knows? Maybe there's a MLB debut patch in one of those update packs. Who knows?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. What if a MLB debut patch is pulled out of a Costco? You'd never hear the end of it.
No, never. There were a lot of boxes. There were a lot of.
I was wondering, like a full pallet of boxes.
Oh, it was like a full like from the floor to about my eye level.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
Every Costco around the country. That's a lot of cards.
We know they're not printing any shortage of flagship packs, for sure. Actually, no, I gotta take it back. I'm sorry, the MLB debut patches are all in Chrome update, not flagship update, so they wouldn't be in there anyway. Sorry,
Right.
brain.
So you could get something out of it, but not that. Could get somebody could pull a good auto out of there.
Yeah, I do. Again, the jumbo card of Acuna. He's in the dugout, like walking through. He's wearing the old school relic City Throwback City Connect jersey, high fiving his teammates. It's a fantastic image. I just don't know why they would put it there. I don't know. Maybe it'll Stadium Club Chrome or Stadium Club or who knows.
It'll probably show up again. Knowing Topps, that's not the only time we're going to see that image.
Oh, speaking of Stadium Club, did you see the rumor about why Stadium Club was delayed?
If it's the same rumor I saw, it's almost so ridiculous. But yeah, it was. Was it the Wander rumor?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I hope it's not true, but it's very funny if they would actually. So the rumor is that Wander Franco is on all the Stadium Club packaging. He's on all the packs and on all the boxes. So that's why Topps delayed the product, so they would have time to basically repackage everything.
Well, maybe it's true. That is, first of all, like that means all the packaging, like the actual packs themselves, are they going to rip out all those cards and repack them in packs? How many people are going to touch those cards then? Are there going to be any cards out of there?
Man, we know that getting a mint Stadium Club card is hard, but I mean, that's going to be near impossible. If they're literally having to hire people to rip every single pack, whew, good Lord. I mean, it almost can't be true. I don't know. It's kind of funny if it is.
So, in general, they're just so lazy. I can't imagine that would. And they have so little, I don't know if I want to say faith, but they have so little faith in their collectors noticing that and deciding to stop buying it because of that.
Yeah, you would think the amount of money it would cost them to repackage everything would far exceed the amount of money they might lose from people seeing Fred Wander on the boxes and being like, no, that product, I won't buy it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I love that. I love that story. I think it's very funny to talk about. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a funny idea.
Another year after Wander's exonerated. All that time and money trying to show that there's some sort of socially company, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we saw Wander posted out an Instagram story of him hugging David Ortiz. What does that mean? I don't know. I would like to think David Ortiz is a little more discerning about who he would be seen in public with.
And was that a recent picture? Do we know?
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow Wander on social media officially. Let me just make that statement. I do follow the girl, but not Wander Franco. No. Yeah, I saw. I don't know. I don't know. But then again, David Ortiz does sit next to Alex Rodriguez, for like 3 hours a day in October. So,
well, he's being paid for that. So,
you'd have to pay me a lot to sit next to Alex Rodriguez. Probably have to pay us more, but.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about that sub that we had? If you haven't had a chance, please check it out. We had overall we had a pretty good return. I think how many cards? There were 22 cards, and how many did we get away from what we thought?
5. I think we had 5 that we agreed were disappointments.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's not. And we knew they all weren't going to be mint. We weren't expecting all 10s.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there are quite a few cards actually that we have the lowest graded copy of, which I think is something. It's not something good, but it is something. Like this card is awesome.
Yeah,
Eric, you're still with us. You're one of the people who will really appreciate this card. It's fantastic, Mookie Betts card. But our 8 is actually there are 2 8s, so it's the lowest graded copy out there. But
yeah, but that card we knew sending in it wasn't going to 10. We knew it was probably
12, 10 or 12 at PSA. So I mean that's fine with me. Doesn't bother me. I'm totally cool with that one.
Yeah, while you're MJR said the rookie debut patch is the only thing that Topps has done well since Fanatics taking over. Just my opinion. Yeah, I mean I think that's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
With you, I think they've done a great job of promoting certain things. It's good to see commercials on the air, but the Taco Fractor was a great opportunity to do something big and just kind of disappointing. So I feel like they're trying, and I'm glad that they're trying. But that MLB debut patch, I think you're right. That's the That's the one.
Yeah, I think exactly what Jeff said. Their marketing has been great. The Julio Rodriguez commercials are fantastic. Like, that stuff is awesome, and they're getting, like I said before, like, I have friends that have never bought a baseball card in their life who have become aware of them and were asking me what the Taco Fractor is.
Yeah.
And, asking about the Julio Rodriguez commercial. So I mean, it's out there. It's getting people interested in cards that were not before. But they have really done nothing for people like Jeff and I, people like, if you're watching this channel, like the people who are already here, already emotionally invested, already collecting, already sort of addicted, as it were. They really haven't done much to make us super happy until these debuts, which I think are fantastic.
What they've done has been disappointing. Like Stadium Club is a product that everybody or a lot of collectors were looking forward to, and they push it out for several months without any notice. Meanwhile, they're pumping out all these other sets that people aren't necessarily interested in.
Yeah. Oh, I saw. Yes, this is the better PSA 8. This is definitely the best PSA 8 of the two PSA.
Grade the slabs with those little stickers they add to the slab. I think, what is the name of that company? I can't even remember, but that guy, whatever it is, yeah, we could send. Maybe we could get a gold diamond. Yeah, that's it. A gold diamond on there. It could be the best of the 2 8s.
Please don't do that. I'm literally begging you guys. Please don't do that. Please don't spend your money on that. Please, please, please. And if someone tries to upcharge you on a slab because it has that sticker, just walk away. Yeah. Just walk.
Yeah.
No, we don't need slab grading of the slabs. No, we don't need that.
No. Yeah, so overall we did pretty well on our sub. We sent in a lot that we knew wouldn't get 10s. I sent in a bunch of base Acuna cards, rookie cards that I thought would get 10s. I went through a pile of about 60 Acuna cards. I sent in about 8 of them, the 8 best ones. And yeah, I think except for one got a 9, a green shimmer Bowman, but the rest got 10s. And I specifically sent those in not because I wanted the cards, but because it increased their value, so I can sell those and use all that money to get a bigger Acuna card. So half my done now. It's just getting rid of them and putting them towards another.
So calendar year, Jeff and I are hitting about 700 with PSA, just over. We're at about 70, what we would call success rate. Like, we got grades that we are happy with, the grades that were expected, grades we can't complain about. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. And a couple times even, I'd have to say we got higher grades than we were expecting.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, which that's nice to get a win.
Yeah. So
a tiny little effect. Sometimes in the slab you'd never see it, especially if it's a surface thing.
Yeah.
You never see it. So that's great.
Yeah.
What did I think Jorge just said?
Jorge said my brother doesn't collect. When I told him about the slab grading, his first reaction was, so people are just looking for randoms to give money to. Yeah, it's kind of like just handing out your money. I guess there's just some element of comfort if you get more grades on your grade, I guess.
I like to think that some dealers are just they're looking for people to take advantage of. They're looking for any reason to charge, more than they should.
Well, and I think that there's a lot of people looking for a way to make money in the industry. And yeah, one of them, let's grade the graders. Let's grade the graded cards. And also, which I think is pretty popular, but Chris and I haven't really went down that rabbit hole, is cases for your cards, for your individual slabs, like slab mags. And I know there's a lot of different competition out there for different color borders on the slab mag to protect your slab and make it look better. I don't know. Then pretty soon you're going to have a slab case to hold that slab case so that one doesn't get scratched.
I don't know. Your slab is going to be like this big.
Yeah.
To hold your card. I don't know. Jeff is familiar with how I dress. Color matching is not really something I'm aware of or familiar with or able to do. So getting something to hold my slab, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
In Pokemon, people love graded guards and also have some. All right. Well, I guess to each their own. I mean, Pokemon is a little different, I know, because it's a game. So a lot of people use their cards when playing a game. So maybe there is something to that.
Are you allowed to play a graded card in Pokemon? Good
question. I mean, you'd think that would be, you would know what that card is then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't never played. I'm not really sure how it works. But yeah, if you have a card graded a 10, like if I play a card that's a 9 and you have the same card and it's a 10, does your 10 like trump my 9 while we're playing? Like I don't know. I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm legitimately asking. Don't know how to play.
They shouldn't be a 9. This should be a 10. That should be a 9. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Well, anything else you want to say before we wrap up this Thursday night?
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's a weird. This World Series is kind of a weird feeling. I'm excited to watch it, but I have like no emotional investment in what team wins. Like I don't have any Corbin Carroll cards. I don't have any Adolis Garcia. I don't have any Corey Seager. So I mean, like I have nothing really riding on it. So I don't know. I don't really have I have literal no horse in the race. I just want to see a good series. But I do think the Rangers are going to win. And I was bummed when they couldn't close it out back in 2011 against the Cardinals. I really like Ron Washington and Josh Hamilton back on that team, and I think Beltre was there too. That's a team I really wished was able to win that World Series. So I'll be rooting for the Rangers in sort of a casual, haphazard sort of way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just want to see more baseball, so I do hope it goes 6-7 games and is a good series. Probably be rooting for whichever team has lost the last game.
Yeah, I am disappointed we're not going to get any more Harper and Yordan Alvarez heroics.
Yeah.
Like everything ended very quickly. And even, I mean, if you're unfamiliar with what Yordan Alvarez did in the ALCS, like go look up those numbers. Like it's absurd. His team lost, and I think we're all happy the Astros are gone. But man, that guy is a nightmare in the playoffs.
Yeah.
An absolute nightmare. Even in that game 7, I think he was up 4 times. He hit 4 absolute rockets. Not many lefties just square up Aroldis Chapman. Devers has done it, and Yordan has done it. That might be it.
Yeah, Yordan is one of those guys that if we could see him play a full season, we might just see an all-timer. Not in the same way as Acuna, but we might see a statistical all-timer or one statistical type season that hasn't been seen in a long time. If he could play 155 games,
yeah, he might steal 10 to 15 bases, but they would just be on intimidation, like just walking second and staring down the catcher,
or the shortstop. Nobody's going to want to take that throw with him barreling in. I wouldn't blame him.
I'm sorry. Before we go, there was a comment about the 2011 World Series. I just saw come up and disappear.
Rangers fan, 2011 World Series has him scarred for life, and he's so nervous for tomorrow. I get that. That is one good thing about not having a horse in the race. I'm not nervous for it. I'm just excited. Want to see some good baseball. But
yeah, at 2011, I mean, goddamn, yeah, twice. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to rehash it. Cover yours for a second. But Darren Oliver not getting those 2 lefties out, and to start the bottom of that extra inning. Nelson Cruz not being able to corral the David Freese triple. I mean, yeah, that was tough. That was tough. Jeff and I were huge Josh Hamilton fans. We loved his story. We loved his just his ability to recover and get back on the field. And Adrian Beltre has always been like a fan favorite. That was a team I was actively rooting for. I love Cliff Lee as well.
And I don't like the Cardinals, so they were easy to root against.
Right.
And in case anybody doubted it, you see that Chris is a playoff and World Series savant. You tell him the World Series, he'll remember the big moments.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of them scarred me emotionally as an Atlanta Braves fan. Like I can remember a lot of devastating postseason moments. Occasionally we wake up at night screaming, and those things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, postseason baseball is ingrained in my brain.
Adolis Garcia, MJR Sports Cards. He's been playing like a man possessed. He's kind of like he's having Andy Arozarena type postseason where he just comes out of nowhere. I mean, he's been hitting and been a powerful bat in that lineup, but nothing like what he's shown now. He's just
he kind of struggled a little bit at the beginning of these playoffs, and then about halfway through the ALCS, it was like a hold my beer kind of moment. He's like, I got it. Like I'll just go ahead and take it from here. Once he homered off Justin Verlander, it's been an absolute fireworks show.
And then even when he got drilled, he comes back and he's just still hitting.
Yeah. All right. So I just while Jorge was talking, I think it was Jorge mentioned someone just mentioned the 2011 World Series. Yeah.
Seeing Cruz jump and missing the catch.
Yeah. I can. I can also picture the Mark Waller's hanging slider to Jim Leyritz, which which is it's utter nightmare fuel for me because it did two things. It crushed what the Braves had going on in the mid 90s. Like, it's hard to say one pitch. One pitch really changed the direction for two franchises. One god awful, horribly executed, and terribly decided on pitch. It should. I mean, Leyritz couldn't catch up to his fastball. Anyway, neither here nor there. That pitch ended what was the Braves dynasty and birthed the Yankee one that I had to goddamn live through living in New York City for all that time. It was horrible. That pitch is like an absolute nightmare for me. And that pitch I think about all the time. And it wrecked a good portion of my baseball fandom.
And Leyritz, I mean, what more could you ask for him? That's just the moment. Just a moment. All right. All right, Chris, we're going to wrap it up there.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Now that I'm traumatized, let's call it a night.
Yes, Chris has to get back to the bottle to great pitch memory. But thanks again for everybody watching. If you haven't, please check out Spitball and Cards, which is our other podcast that we do with a couple people in the industry.
Yep.
And now we're also on Spotify there. So Spitball and Cards, please check it out. And please remember to like and subscribe here and hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know every time we go live, which is usually Thursdays, but occasionally other times as well. Yep. So thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Jorge. Good. Let's have a good World Series, and we'll see where we stand next Thursday.
Everyone have a good, safe, fun Halloween this weekend. Dress up fun.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Cheers. All right. Take care. Bye. Thanks, guys.